Hi, I'm Paul, and I am the lead research technician here at the How to Linux Research Labs, and I am also the administrator of the Pop! OS Linux Facebook group on Facebook. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to install DigiKam 8.2 onto Pop! OS Linux 22.04. Okay, let's get started. Okay, you ask, what is DigiKam? Well, in a nutshell, DigiKam is an open source photo manager, and it just got a major update, and it's on 8.2 now. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to install DigiKam on Pop! OS. Now, before we get into the installation, I want to touch quickly on the handful of methods that there are for installing DigiKam. Okay, now there is a snap package, but it's a couple ticks behind, maybe one tick behind 8.1. So if you want to go the snap route, know that it's a tick behind. There's a flat pack, which we're not going to do a snap or a flat pack, and the flat pack is current 8.2. You can compile from source, which I'm not going to do. I don't believe there's a standalone .deb installer on the DigiKam website, so that's not an option. There's a PPA there. I need to look at, so it's an option. I need to look at it to make sure that it's up to date and what version it's going to give. But there is a PPA option available as well via the DigiKam website. Now, I did find it in the Pop repo. Let's take a look at Pop Shop really quick here. So it's available in the Pop Shop, only as flat packs. So if you want to do the flat pack route, you can either install the flat pack command line engine and do it that way, and or come to Pop Shop and do it the GUI way here. And like I said, this is current. So if you want to go the flat pack route, there's those options are available, and it's current. Okay, or you can download the flat pack reference file and pass it into the Flatpak engine in the terminal. So there's a few ways of doing Flatpak installations if you want to go that route, but it is available. Okay, and then it's also okay. And I also want to just quickly show that I am actually in. Here's my Neofed screen. That I'm actually in a Pop session here. Pop! OS 22.04. Okay, I don't think and it's the most current version of the kernel that's in the Pop repos. I know the kernel is on 6.6, and we're on 6.5. That should be okay. And then everything else here doesn't really have any bearing for the most part, I don't believe. Okay, so we're good to go there. So we're clear on that. And I want to show you that I actually did find it in the Pop repos. Right here, sudo apt install DigiKam. Now I'm gonna enter on this, but I'm not going to install it. But we just want to see, that it actually is going to be installable via the Pop repos. And I don't know what version this is going to be. I would imagine that's probably going to be a couple ticks behind. So I wouldn't go this route if you want to, have the newest version of DigiKam, which is 8.2. Okay, so we'll enter on that, and there's a lot of output here. I took a look at it before, and I really couldn't figure out what version it's going to install. I didn't want to install it just to find out, but it was really hard to gather from all this output here exactly which version. It's probably going to be a couple ticks behind, I would imagine. That's usually par for the course. So yeah, there's a lot of packages, dependencies. There's no real information about what version it's going to install, but it is an option. And we're not going to do it that way today. So I'm going to go ahead and no on that. Clear on that. Now the method I'm going to use is going to be app image. So we're going to download the app image file, installer, whatever, and we're going to launch it from app image. Okay, so we can, launch it directly with app image from the file system, or we can use a program called App Image Launcher, which kind of manages all your app images. Now, you can download the app image to anywhere on your file system, I'm going to go ahead and so if I use the browser, it'll probably download it to my download folder. But I'm going to go ahead and probably download it into the download folder, and then move it over to a special folder that I'm going to make right now called App Image or App Images. Okay, so we're in the home. We're in the root here, in the home root. Okay, and I'm going to do an LSA on that, and we're going to take a quick look, and we're going to try to see if we can find an existing App Images or App Image folder. And you can see there's no app image folder here. Okay, so when we create it, we'll come back and take a look at it, and we'll find it here. We'll spot it. Okay, so we're clear on that, and I'm going to go ahead and use this command here. Sudo make dir app images. Okay, that makes sense. I'm going to make a folder called app images to hold my app images. Okay, so sudo make dir app images. Okay. Enter on that. Clear on that. Go back to LSA and spot it. And there it is. Okay. So like I said, the browser will probably save it to downloads, and then I'm going to move it to the app images to have it in a centralized, customized location. Okay. So we're clear on that. We'll minimize the terminal. Pop open the browser. I'm on the DigiKam download page here. This is pretty. This URL here is pretty. The base URL and then the endpoint here. Pretty easy to follow there. So once you're on the digikam.org homepage, go to the endpoint of download here. Can't miss it. Okay, and then you can scroll down. There's some information here on different ways of installing it, packages and whatnot. PPAs, APT, whatever's in your repos and whatnot. Download the source code. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, and it even tells you here, you can use the App Image Launcher here. Now I do have a separate video on how to install the App Image Launcher, so if you want to centrally manage your app images, I suggest you follow my video and install this App Image Launcher. Okay, so we don't really need anything else here. So we're going to focus on what's going on at the top here. Windows no, Mac no, Linux yes. Okay, going to click on this hyperlink here, 64-bit. Okay, and hopefully I do have this this library installed. I'm sure I do. So you're going to have this library equal to 2.7, either equal to or greater than 2.27. Okay, so we're good there. Let's just see what happens. Click on that, and back in a minute. Okay, that put us onto this mirror page. This is a KDE symbol here. It's a KDE page. I guess KDE. I guess DigiKam is actually a KDE desktop program. So if you have, now I do have KDE on another distro of mine, OpenSUSE. So I need to look. When I boot into that next time, I'll take a look and see if DigiKam is actually on there. This leads me to believe that it's part of your standard installation of any distro with KDE as the desktop environment. Anyway, okay, so we're on this mirror page here, and it says that I'm in near Reseda, California, which is true. Okay, so it gives me some mirrors to choose from here. Going to focus in on this column here, US, and I don't really care about the distance too much. It could be on the East Coast. It's not really a big deal. I don't believe. I try to find something that looks reputable and recognizable for me. Now it looks like a lot of people are using these first three mirrors here, and I don't really recognize any of these except for, of course, Berkeley. I do. So let's take a quick little look here and see what else comes up for US. There's a couple here. Paducah, that's probably somewhere in Kentucky. not really used all that much. And then a little bit more down here. You got Princeton here, which is, when I download from the major colleges and universities, I feel pretty good about that. So I did see one down here for MIT. Hey, who doesn't want to be associated with MIT, right? I mean, it's pretty prestigious. So let's go with MIT. It's in the U.S. It's 3,000 miles away from me, but that's okay. And it doesn't seem like it's really being used all that much, which is kind of a surprise. But let's give MIT a try here. Okay, so we're going to click on this hyperlink here, and let's see if it's downloading or it's in progress. Okay, we can take a look at the progress here, and then back when it's done. Actually, let's pop this out. Okay, that's better. Okay, so it's got a little ways to go, and back when it's done. Okay, so the download's complete. You can see here that this is the information that we really want to verify here. This is what we want. DigiKam 8.2 for x86-64, which is what I have, and it's an app image. Okay, good. So it downloaded the file, so we can go ahead and minimize the browser, go back to the terminal. I'm going to CD into the download folder and clear on that, and we're going to try to spot that app image file that we just downloaded. Okay, here it is here. DigiKam 8.2 x86-64 app.app image is the extension. Okay, good. This is what we want right here, and it's right where I expected it for it to be in the download folder. Now I'm going to move it from here into the app images folder that I created earlier. So back with that. Okay, so I'm going to use the move command, MV, to move that app image file file from where I am in the download folder here to the app images folder in the home directory that I created before. Since I'm already in the download folder, I don't have to put the absolute path in. Since I'm already in the download folder where the file lives, I can just do kind of a relative path essentially. I do believe this would be a relative path. So I'm already in download folder, so I don't have to key download into the command here. So I'm going to move DigiKam, which is in the download folder, and I'm going to move it to the app images folder that I created before, and tilde is home, and that's where this folder lives. Okay, so once you have all this keyed in here, go ahead, enter on that, and it says you can't move it. Okay, this is actually good this came up, because if you see this, you might get a little nervous and not know how to proceed forward. This simply means that I need to be in a sudo session. Okay, so we'll clear on all this, and we'll go back and bring up that same command again. Arrow all the way over, key in sudo, space it there. Okay, now it should work. So once you're invoking sudo, then it should move. Okay, good. So we'll clear on that. We'll go back, clear on that again. Another LSA. Okay, there's the app images right there, right here. I'm going to CD into that. Okay, clear on that once more, and take a look inside, and there it is. Okay, great. So this just keeps things clean and organized on your file system. Okay, let's take a quick little look here and go back to the downloads and see if it's still there or not. Okay, looks like it actually did move it out. So it didn't just leave a copy here, it actually moved it out. Okay, so that's all done. So we're good here. We'll go back and we'll clear on that, and we'll find that other command and CD back into here, into the app images folder. Clear on that, and we're going to spot it one more time. Okay, as you can see, it's black. So that probably means it's not executable. So the next step we're going to have to do is make it executable so we can go ahead and run the program. So back with that command to make it executable. Okay, before we make it executable, let's take a look at a couple outputs of a couple commands first. Now the first one that I did was file. So I passed that DigiKam app image file into file command here, and it gives me some information just to verify that we're dealing with what we think we're dealing with. And it is an executable, although at this point it's not executable, but it is an executable. And there's some other stuff here that it's kind of hard to figure out exactly what all this is. This is the hash or whatever. But this file is good. This kind of gives you some information about some of the data, so I guess metadata relating to the file that you just downloaded that you're dealing with. So essentially, executable is kind of what I'm kind of focusing in here. Okay, so that's fine. The next one here is ls-l. And I performed that, and I passed the app image file into this, and it gives me essentially the three sets of permissions for the three sets of users, or for the user, the group, and the owner. Or I'm sorry, the user, which is the owner, the group, and then other. For the RWX is for those three sets. So you can see the first set here. For the user owner, there's no executable, only read and write. And for the group owner and for all others who are not part of the group or the user owner, they all have only read permissions. Okay, so the three sets, again, RW for the user, only R for the group owner, and only R or read for these last two sets here. So there's no X. So nobody that's in any of these groups here or any of these sets can actually run this file at this point. The user can only read and write, and everybody else can just look at it. Essentially, they can read and only look at it. They can't make changes, and they can't run it. So once I'm done with this third command here, it's going to make this file executable to everybody, because I'm not specifying whether it's only going to be for the user U, group G, or other O. So I'm just going to probably apply this X to all three groups, all three sets. Okay, so what we're going to do here, and then we're going to come back and we're going to take a look again, and we're going to see X, and X. So we should see three X's once we're done. Okay, the command that we're going to use is this one here, sudo change mode, or I think it's change mode, chmod. We're going to add X. Since we're not putting anything to the left of the plus sign to specify only U or G or O or whatever, it should apply to all three sets. Okay, so it's going to make this file executable for pretty much everybody that's logged into the home directory at this point. Not so much every user on the system necessarily. I'm not sure if it's global, but I know for sure if that anybody that's logged into this account right here will be able to run it. Okay, so once we're done, X should pop up in three different spots here. Okay, and then of course you need the image that it's going to apply it to. Okay, so pretty easy to understand there. So once we're all keyed in there, staged up, enter on that. Okay, and we're clear on that. We don't need to do that again. We don't need to do this again, but I do want to do an ls space -l on it. Okay, so we're going to see what changed here. Okay, a couple things did change. It went from black to green, which means it's executable now. That's good. I see 1x, 2x, 3x's. Okay, good. We got 3 x's. Now we're ready to go ahead and execute it. So this is how you launch and run the program, the app image program. Once you've made the file executable, it turns green, and you've given the executable permissions to everybody. So as Paul, I can run it probably as other. Let's see, what was the owner? Well, I have to do a challenge to see who the owner was on it. But either way, it doesn't matter who the owner is. But let's take a quick little look here and see who the actual owners are. So we'll do a challenge on that. Actually, I don't have to do a challenge on it. That's only if I want to change it. It's actually right here. I missed it. I'm sorry. I'm already the owner, and the group owner is Paul Group. So I'm part of both of these already. So the ownership didn't have to be changed or nothing like that. But I had to give the X to the first set here for the user, and then for this one here. And anybody else who's not Paul or in the Paul group can run it as other. Okay. So this is how you would actually go ahead and launch it. Just like this, a /. So put a /. I just put D, and it should autocomplete. That's the only file in there. So if you just key in the D, there's no other competing files for anything. So you just tab it, and it auto-completes the whole thing. Then enter on that, and let's see if it launches. Okay? Now it's going to ask me if I want to use the app image launcher. I actually do want to use that. So let me have a moment here to figure out how to exactly, it's been a while. I was expecting for it to actually run, and then I was going to open this separately and browse to the location and add it here. It's already asking me right off the bat if I want to use it. So I do. So back with that in a minute. Okay, so pretty self-explanatory here actually. Ask me whether I want to move new app images into a central location. Yes, I do. It's offering me this one. No, I don't want to do that default. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the customize here. And let's take a look here and look for the, these are all hidden here. Okay, select the app images folder that we created before. Open. Let's see if it changes it. Okay, so it's going to always, looks like it's always going to look for the app images that are in this folder here. Okay, so Home Paul app images. Okay, this looks good here. So now it knows to look for and or to move them into a centralized location. So we'll OK on that and we'll see what happens. Okay. Desktop integration has not been integrated into my system yet. Okay, this image, integrating it will move the app image into the predefined location. Okay, this looks pretty good here. Okay, now I'm going to integrate it as opposed to just running it. And it failed, and back with the fix. Okay, I do believe that this error is simply because it's already in that folder as opposed to somewhere else. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that and see what happens. And it failed to copy it, probably because it's already here. So I'm going to go ahead and see what happens next. Okay, like I said, it's been a while since I've used the App Image Launcher. Now we saw a couple of errors there. It seemed like it failed. I think it only failed because the image that I wanted to move was already in that folder. It was already here. So I got out of all that and I just ran it again. And this time it actually launched the way I wanted it to launch, free of the App Image Launcher. So I think at this point, in spite of the couple of errors that we saw there, this is pretty much where I want to be anyway. So / on that app image for the DigiKam, and we've got some output here, but no crashes, and it actually launched the program here. So we're going to go ahead and expand on this really quick. There's not much to look at here, but this essentially is what This is the point that I wanted to be at right now. Welcome to DigiKam 8.20, 8.2.0, and okay, this is good. And then it's about using it, which I'm not going to show right now, but I'm confident at this point that it's been properly installed and we're running it. So we're going to X on that. Now there's no other way to actually launch it from the terminal like with a DigiKam keyword, because it's not really putting it on the path. So that's not going to work. So you have to do it this way in the terminal. You have to CD into where it lives and then make it executable and then run it with a /. Okay? Now we're going to clear on that. And a couple more things. Don't expect to find it here in your application folder either. So it would be what? DigiKam? So you would look for it here in the D's. Oh, it has, actually it's here, and I was not expecting for it to be there actually. Okay, that wasn't there before. All right, let's see what happens here. We can right click on it. We don't need anything from there. We can pin it to the dash or just run it from here. Let's just run it from there and see what happens. Now at this point it might bring up the app image launcher. Let's see what happens. Or maybe nothing will happen at all. I don't see anything happening. Okay, there it is. Okay, that's not what I was expecting. I was expecting certainly to be able to make it executable and run it with a /, and maybe have to bring up the app image launcher window as well. I was not expecting for it to run this way, the traditional way, since it's an app image. Okay, I need to look into that, but that launches it as well. So we're going to go ahead and click off on that. And one more thing. Of course, you can pin it here to the dash so it's always here. Okay, we'll move from favorite there. Okay, let me try one more thing here. Let's see what happens if I do a search here for DigiKam. And it doesn't come up there as well. Okay. All this was I was not expecting all that. I thought I was going to have to deal with the app image launcher here. Okay, so let's see what happens with that real quick. Pop that open here. It looks like all it's doing is just telling you, it's just for us to put it into a centralized location here. Now I've used it before where this actually launched it for me or something like that. I forgot exactly what happened. But anyway, I think we're okay here. So you can launch it this way here from the application folder, traditional way. And I don't know if it's using the app image launcher here. I'm not sure what's going on exactly. I have a little problem trying to get my head wrapped around how to use the app image launcher, except for just using it so you can just put all the app images into one centralized location. But anyway, so you can launch it from here or from the terminal with a / from here. Okay, so that was how to install a DigiKam 8.2 on Pop! OS Linux 22.04. And I do want to thank you for subscribing and watching. I look for your comments and your feedback. And if you have any requests for a video, leave a line in the comment section. And until my next video, happy Linuxing. And I am Paul, and I'm lead research technician at the How to Linux Research Labs, and I am also the administrator of the Pop! OS Linux Facebook group on Facebook. If you have Pop, I would like for you to join. If you don't have Pop but you like Linux, you can still join. We talk about a lot of different distros. Okay, so until my next video, a happy Linuxing. Thank you.